Hello everybody, it's Eric Freeze. Today I'm going to make a video of my 48-inch Sanyo Lasko ceiling fan that's here in my office dining room area. I don't even know what this room's called, but yeah. I'm going to make a video of this one today, and I'm going to also try to do the veranda deluxe in the bedroom and possibly the Harbor Breeze Classic style in the kitchen. I want to get some more videos of these other fans I have in the house at some point before National Ceiling Fan Day in a couple months. So we'll start off with this one. This one has, I'd say, a partial restoration done to it. I need to go through and put new bearings in it. The bearings in it are very loud. It's not working too well on high speed. So I want to do this one first because I think I'm going to swap this one out before too long. But here's pretty much what's going on with this. This is this was pulled out of a farmhouse that I used to work at back in 2018, 2019 before COVID. It was owned by one of my mom's co-workers, and I used to go over there and mow grass on the property. And this was the only fan in the house. This was in the living room. I don't know for the exact year was the first time I saw it or whatever, but I didn't know what this fan was for a long time, and then when I started to become a bit more involved in the community, I was able to identify this. So this is a fan I really wanted, and they back in November they sold the farm. I went over and asked them about the fan, and I replaced it with a light fixture. This fan's really cool. I believe this one came from Sears. I believe these were made in 1984, and there's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences between my Sanyo Industrial that I have out in the garage. Well, it's down for the time being while it gets bearing work. So, but the motor top casing is pretty similar to later model ones. Does not have the tabs over the blades, but yeah, it's pretty similar. Same with the lower canopy on this. I have the original upper canopy and mounting hardware, which are not on the fan right now because the living room had a drop ceiling and the fan was installed where the drop ceiling was, and they cut the canopy for some reason to fit around the drop ceiling. Just added a bit more light, but we'll get ahead and go on and test it a little bit. It's reversible. The reason why I think this one came from Sears is because the light kit that was on it was Sears. It was very tarnished, so I replaced it with another new old stock antique brass Home Trends light kit that I got from a thrift store. And then the bottom plate, I wanted to get that one cleaned up because that was very tarnished. You could not really see it too well. So I did gold spray paint on that, and just so there's a bit more contrast. That's just a generic canopy. I think it's a Heritage canopy. And the mounting bracket was from the Emerson that was here previous to this. So I got all that stuff set up. I painted that gold so it all matches, and it looks pretty good. The only difference is the light kit. I didn't want to repaint the original light kit, and I also didn't want to repaint one of the other light kits gold. I also thought about repainting the blade badges gold, but I really don't want to repaint too much stuff on this fan. I think it looks good for the time being. This also has my favorite stencil design of just about any fan. So we'll fire it up on low speed. I'll probably make another video at some point of this thing, at least the startup sounds, before I replace it. I have a 36-inch Newtone Veranda Deluxe I think I'm going to put up here. If I don't install that, I'll reinstall the Emerson Legend. I might have a few more. I can't think of those off the top of my head, but those are just a couple of the options I'm thinking. The bearings on this have gotten pretty noisy recently, and it also wobbles a bit on high speed. But there's a low speed. It's a bit fast. It goes low to high, just like the Industrial. The glass that is on it is the glass I got with this fan. I don't know if it's the original glass or not, but it does exist. This is about the fastest I run it. If I go any higher, it starts to wobble pretty bad. It's already wobbling a good bit. It moves a ton of air though. I'm pretty sure this is the same motor they used for the industrials. The only difference is it's in a smaller package for this. And the motor housing, it's a plastic thing. I think it's kind of stamped together. So it's not easy to take the whole entire motor apart. Now, being that this is a Lasko Sears model, this bottom metal plate, as well as the blades, those are made by Lasko for this fan. They're not genuine Sanyo parts. Now, underneath that plate there, if you remove that, there are indented vents in the bottom of the motor housing, kind of like a Hunter original or Island Fans type looking vents. They're kind of square. That type of pattern. There's videos of the more basic versions. These are cat hair flying around. I haven't had this thing up pretty fast in a while. So the blades and motor, the bottom plate, are American made. The rest of the fans made in Japan. There's high speed. These are the pull fobs that were on it. One of them is kind of a bit of what would be the original with a shell glued to it with hot glue. And then the other one is, for the fan, is the original. These are very tarnished. I should probably polish up. I think I watched, the chrome plating was going away. But this is just like the same pull fob that would be on the industrial fans. It's just a bit smaller and shortened. I'm not sure if the industrial fans of the early 80s had these shorter, smaller fobs. I'm not sure. I never really looked too far into it. And the majority of the time, they're missing their pull cords. I think the pull cord for this one's original. I know I had to replace it in my industrial. This doesn't wobble nearly as much as I remember, but bearings are starting to get a bit noisy. So we'll turn this off. We'll do a spin down. There is a reverse switch hidden in the vent. I knew some of these were reversible, some of these were not reversible. Just do on this chair here. I didn't notice when it was reversible until I actually brought it home and I took it apart. I never noticed a reverse switch on this one before. The white ones, it's pretty obvious where the reverse switch is, but on these you can't really see it. The motor housing's plastic, by the way, on this one. It's a really cool looking fan though. I always liked the vent pattern on it. It's like an air puff design. I was obsessed with this thing as a kid. I thought this fan was so cool. Now hopefully, I'd like to get the bearings replaced in it and then reinstall it here at some point. With how the motor's kind of enclosed, I don't know if that's going to be easy or not. I also like this because the motor on it makes some pretty cool noises. It's a very noisy fan, but it has a really good startup sound, really good harmonics. I think I have a few videos showing that. I wasn't able to feature it in NCFD last year, but I think next year, well, not this year, but the following year, I'm going to feature it. Because hopefully by then I'll get it back up, and whatever fan I have here, I'll leave it up for until like November or so. Probably do the new tone. So 0 to high in reverse. The mini fridge and stuff running, it's hard to hear the startup sound. HVAC's on. It's really hot today. You probably hear some air noise on the mic. This thing is crazy powerful. It's always interesting because back in the day, the older ceiling fans, they always move a lot more than the stuff they make today. There goes the bearings again. They're really screaming. Drop down medium on reverse. We'll turn the light on for some reason. Also, the pole chain that was on the original light kit was very stiff, so I just went ahead and replaced the whole light kit altogether. Now, when I first installed this fan, I ran it on reverse because when it was in reverse, it didn't make so much bearing noise, but now it makes bearing noise in reverse. It also wobbles a bit more in reverse as well. This fan doesn't wobble nearly as much as I remember. Now, the mounting apparatus is a little bit jank because I have to reuse the original down rod because of canopy and all of that stuff. This would have originally been a J-hook mount. I do really like the pull cord that these fans use. It's the same style switch as the industrials. So there's that little nub that sticks out the side for the speed wheel, the speed counter wheel that's on the industrials. And I still feel airflow over here in the corner bouncing off the ceiling. This is one of my favorites in my collection, just because I've known this fan for so long. Sentimental value, the coolness of it. This is one of those ones that I don't think I'll ever let go. It's something I'll probably keep in the collection for a really, really long time. Eventually, if me and my mom get a house, this will be a fan I would like to install somewhere in the house. This would be a good living room fan if we had a smaller living room. But this is somewhere where I'd like to install this fan somewhere. There's not really anywhere in this house in particular where this fan would look nice. Like, it'd look good in my bedroom, but it'd hang too well. Reverse it while it's running. Normally there's a little bit of motor torque to it, but I think it's kind of sat into that ball socket a little bit more. There's the bearings again. It does make a little bit of like cool whistling harmonic noise when it gets up to speed. And now it's absolutely hauling ass. Yeah, this was another one of those fans that was made in the early 80s during the ceiling fan fad when there was a bunch of really cool stuff. This is just a Japanese fan that was imported here and spruced up a little bit by an American company. These are really starting to show their age. Bearings on these were known to go out when they got old. I never remembered this one having any sort of bearing issues growing up, but it's no surprise. And this is the current fan on my Facebook profile picture. I'll probably change that eventually, but it's been like that for a while. Little funny tidbit is the small Newton veranda that I'll show you eventually. That'll probably end up going up here. When I went to pick that up, the seller noticed the ceiling fan profile picture and asked if I was a collector. So that's a little tidbit of that. But it was this one. I didn't plan on putting that fan here, but bearings on this one have just gotten so bad. We also don't know why I did another spin down. So thank you very much for watching and keep the breeze.